If you've ever seen a picture of Berlin's skyline, you know this building, the Fernsehturm, the TV tower. It just rockets into the sky, 368 meters tall, like a giant needle on the city's horizon. But this tower, oh, it is so much more than just a pretty view. It was built to be this shining beacon of socialist power, but, well, it kind of accidentally became something else entirely.
And that brings us to its most famous, and maybe most ironic, nickname. West Berliners started calling it the Pope's Revenge. Now, how in the world does a tower built by an atheist state get a name like that? Well, you're about to find out. There's an incredible story there, and it really gets to the very heart of this building's wild, conflicted identity.
Because honestly, that's exactly what the Fernsehturm is. It's a massive monument built on contradictions. It was designed to scream one message to the entire world, but history, and maybe a little bit of physics, had some very different plans.
So check out this split personality. On the one hand, you have the German Democratic Republic. They built this thing back in 1969 to shout from the rooftops about how technologically superior their socialist system is. That giant sphere up there, it was even inspired by the Soviet Sputnik satellite. But then, the universe throws a curveball. When the sun hits the stainless steel panels of that sphere just right, a massive, glowing cross appears, and it's visible all across the city. You can just imagine the panic in the officially atheist government when their symbol of socialism started sporting a giant cross.
But hey, before we completely unravel that incredible story, let's actually experience the tower for ourselves. Let's talk about what it's like to really go up there.
40 seconds. That is all it takes. You step into this high-speed elevator, the doors close, and whoosh, the city just starts to fall away beneath you. In less than a minute, you're shot up 203 meters to the observation deck. It's this surprisingly fast, smooth ride that kind of prepares you for the epic scale of what you're about to see. And let's just pause on this number for a second. 368 meters. That makes the Fernsehturm not just some tall building, it is the tallest structure in all of Germany. From that kind of height, Berlin doesn't just unfold below you, it feels like it's revealing all of its secrets.
And what a view it is. I mean, you get this complete, jaw-dropping 360-degree panorama. It's like you can trace the entire story of the city from up there. You can see the famous dome of the Reichstag building, the iconic columns of the Brandenburg Gate, that whole cluster of amazing museums on Museum Island, and you can even trace the faint scar where the Berlin Wall once sliced the city in two. It's like a living, breathing map of history laid out right at your feet.
But the experience doesn't stop with just looking out the window. Because inside that giant sphere, there are some pretty cool attractions that take the whole visit to another level. Literally.
So, what's actually up there? Well, you've got the Sphere Restaurant, with the menu designed by a Michelin-starred chef Tim Rial. No big deal. Below that is Bar 203, which is, you guessed it, Berlin's highest bar. And if you want a little dose of high-tech history, there's Berlin's Odyssey, a virtual reality tour that zips you through centuries of the city's past.
Oh, but the restaurant has this one killer feature. It revolves. Yep. Depending on the time of day, it makes a full 360-degree spin every half hour to an hour. So that means while you're eating, the entire city of Berlin is just slowly, gracefully drifting past your window. You could start your appetizer looking at the Reichstag and be looking at East Berlin's big avenues by the time you're done with dessert. It's just this incredible, constantly moving backdrop.
All right, so as you're picturing yourself up there, enjoying that incredible, slowly rotating view, it's the perfect moment to remember why this tower is so much more than just a tourist spot. It's time to get back to the story of that shining cross.
You have to remember, this tower was a massive piece of Cold War propaganda. The GDR government poured a ton of money into building a symbol that would shout socialist achievement from the center of East Berlin. It was designed to be a beacon of their system, one you could see from miles, especially from West Berlin.
But here's where the plan just completely went off the rails. They start building in '65. By the grand opening in '69, people are already noticing the cross. Through the '70s, that nickname Pope's Revenge catches on like wildfire, making the government absolutely furious. I mean, they tried everything, special paints, different chemicals, but nothing could get rid of it. And then, in 1987, Ronald Reagan just cements its legendary status by mentioning the cross in his famous "Tear Down This Wall" speech, calling it a symbol of love that couldn't be suppressed.
Now, this tower doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? It's anchored right in the heart of Berlin at Alexanderplatz, or Alex, as all the locals call it. This square is basically the tower's front yard, and man, is it just as packed with history.
Alexanderplatz has always been the nerve center of East Berlin. It's more than just a massive train and tram hub or the home of that famous world time clock. This is a square where history was literally made. Just imagine, it's November 1989, just days before the wall falls, and 500,000 people are packed right here, their voices rising up, demanding change. And now, all that history lives right alongside this bustling modern square, where you've got these huge Christmas markets and the amazing Festival of Lights, all happening right under the watchful eye of the tower.
Okay, so if you're feeling inspired and thinking, I have got to see this for myself, let's wrap things up with a few handy, practical tips to help you plan your own trip to this incredible landmark.
All right, here are the things you really need to know. First, and I can't say this enough, book your tickets online. The lines can be absolutely gigantic, and a fast view ticket lets you just waltz right past them. Second, just take public transport. Alexanderplatz is one of the best connected stations in the whole city. Now, a really crucial point on accessibility. Because the tower was built in the 60s and has strict emergency rules, it is not accessible for wheelchair users. And my personal tip, for the best experience with fewer crowds, try to go either early in the morning or later in the evening.
So what is the Berlin TV Tower in the end? Is it a monument to the power of a country that doesn't exist anymore? Is it a testament to some kind of cosmic irony? Or has it become something new, a symbol of a reunified city looking to the future? You know, the amazing thing is, it's all of those things at once. It's a landmark whose whole meaning has shifted and evolved right along with the city it watches over. And its story, well, it's definitely not over yet.